Hey guys, this is the next part of the C# for Beginners series in which I explain constructors. In the first part I added this user class and we created an instance of this class by using the new keyword. The constructor is the first method that is called when the user object is created. In our example, the constructor has two parameters, the name and the email address, which are assigned to the member variables to initialize these in the constructor. So the only way to create a user is by passing a name and an email address, and we can ensure that these two variables are set for every user instance. But now let's assume that the email address could also be empty, so just the username is mandatory. What you can do in this case is to overload the constructor. This means I add a second constructor with a different number of parameters, in our case just the name as string. In this new constructor I assign the name parameter to the mName member and the mEmail member variable are set to an empty string. With this second constructor it is possible now to create a user by just passing a name. But when we go back to the user class, you can see that we copied the code for the assignment to the name member, and copy and paste is not a good coding style. But we can avoid this with a simple trick. Remove the assignment code here, and then we can call the second constructor from the first one by using this with the parameters name and an empty string. Okay, to see how these user instances are created exactly, let's do a short debugging session. I set a breakpoint here in this line, and then I start the program with the debugger by pressing F5. The execution is halted now at the breakpoint. Then I press F11 to step into the constructor of the user class while the program is executed, and you can see that the second constructor is called for this user. The values that are assigned to the members are testuser for the name and testemail@mail.com for the email address. After that, the second user instance is created, the first constructor is called, and then by using this with the values testuser2 and an empty string, the second constructor is called from the first one. Alright, this is overloading constructors. What you could also do is to add a so-called default constructor that has no parameters. In this one you would use this with two empty strings, but it doesn't make much sense to create a user without a valid name, so we delete this again and go without a default constructor. Okay guys, that's it for this part. I hope you find it interesting and useful, and if you do, then please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you have any questions, please add them to the comments below, and if you want to support me, please be my patron. This would really help this channel grow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.